Welcome to a presentation about the history and significance about computers by Ben, Katie, and Michelle. So, what did people do before computers actually existed? Well, for one thing, communication was primarily spoken. Rather than the numerous methods of chatting, texting, or FaceTime available to us now, people actually spoke to each other. And rather than using Spotify or iTunes, people used CDs and records. So, how was the computer actually invented, and by whom? Well, in 1822, Charles Babbage proposed the first ever concept of what is now known as a computer. Called the difference engine, this automatic computing machine could compute several sets of numbers. However, this couldn't be completed because of funding issues. In 1837, Babbage proposed the analytical engine, which had a plethora of new and exciting features, such as the ALU, or Arithmetic Logic Unit, and integrated memory. However, this too could not be completed because of funding issues. So now we're going to take a look at some evolution stages of different interpretations of computers that serve different functions. The Z1 mechanical computer, designed by Konrad Zuse from 1935 to 1936, was the first binary programmable computer, although its programming capabilities were limited, as pictured here. Well, there's Konrad Zuse. The computer, along with its plans, were actually destroyed during World War II. The appropriately named Turing machine, designed by Alan Turing, of course, was invented in 1936 and manipulated different symbols on strips of tape. The Colossus computer was designed by English engineer Tommy Flowers in 1943 to help the British crack secret German messages.
The emergence of the Internet, also known as the Informational Highway, was created in the 1950s and was sponsored by the government so that the military and academic researchers and universities could send new information and findings by computer. The way in which pictures and text were sent was through digitalization, in which an image or text was transformed into a combination of zeros and ones called binary code, and are then transmitted and decoded by the receiving computer. The original Internet was created by the U.S. Defense Department's Advanced Research Project Agency, ARPA, in which a group of computer scientists came together and created ARPANET. The first ever message sent through ARPANET was in 1969 between universities that were linked through the network. Ray Tomlinson from the computer research firm Bolt, Beranek, and Newman (BBN) was the one who came up with the idea of separating the username and the email with an @ sign. The creation of websites began in the 1980s by Tim Berners-Lee, who invented the hyperlinks. Hyperlinks allowed all computers to be able to access text and other sources through clickable links. Mark Andreessen helped release the Mosaic in 1993. Mosaic was the first browser that allowed computer users to load images and text together. Another of his creations was the Netscape in 1994, which was a commercial browser. The evolution of Web 2.0 from 1.0 mainly involved the creation of social networking, in which people used to communicate and share various things like music and images to one another. After 2.0 is Web 3.0, which focused on a semantic web, meaning it focused more on organizing and simplifying the usage of the web to make it much more useful and easier for the people. Andreas M. Kaplan and Michael Henlin are two European researchers that created 6 categories to describe the various types of social media. Advances relating to Web 3.0 involve different applications that allow the use of technology to be much more simple and easier to use. Facebook and Twitter are an example of social networking sites. The Huffington Post and Tumblr are an example of what a blog might be, and Wikipedia is an example of collaborative projects.
Computers sure have come a long way from the clunky large machines of 1822. In fact, even desktop computers of today would be entirely unrecognizable to someone like Charles Babbage. Though many households still have desktop computers with wired internet connections, many individuals have laptops that connect people to the internet via wireless modems. The sleek, compact design of laptops makes them easy to take on the go, whether you're a student, professional, or other. This portability has enabled computers to become even more ubiquitous in society, making users able to retrieve their files or connect to the internet without being tethered to one location. And with each new model, computers become lighter to carry and thinner, making them even more convenient to keep with you. Laptops have fostered constant accessibility, which has culturally shifted the way that generations who grew up with using computers live. Computers are so massively useful that for some, they become an extension of ourselves. As of 2015, 78% of American households had a desktop or laptop computer, and that percentage has likely increased in the last 2 years. Clearly, computers are a technology embedded in modern culture that isn't going anywhere anytime soon. This prevalence of computers has resulted in many social and cultural transformations. Put in a historical context, computers created a divide between millennials who grew up with computers and older generations like our grandparents that did not. Computers have given birth to new mediums for instant communication, fostered a sense of imagined online community, and given every user myriad platforms for their voice to be projected into the world if they so choose. Computers signify a new space for debate or persuasion online, and give online leaders a digital platform to spread media messages, modernizing Paul Lazarsfeld's two-step flow. Anyone with access to a computer can be exposed to hundreds of media messages in seconds with just a few clicks, from online ads to Google search results, which raises newfound questions about audiences' agency and how online media shapes our understanding of society. Rapid digitization that resulted from computers forced various corporations and industries to adapt to changing consumer behavior or go down like the Titanic. Having an online presence is imperative for most businesses, magazines, newspapers, television networks, and brands, and these have digitized to adapt. Advertisers track online activity to target market segments based on their searches, clicks, and interests. In this way, computers have given rise to new formats for advertisements, including online publications and Google Alerts, and shifted at least a portion of advertisers' attention to high-traffic websites and social media platforms in addition to print media like magazines. Thanks for watching!